Good morning, students. Today we are going to have some more stanzas of the poem Keeping Quiet. But before going through the poem, let us try to know what our nature is saying presently in this lockdown time. And I have just prepared a video clip for you all. Listen and watch it very quietly. I hope that you will feel what does the nature say. As birds are chirping, you will hear. Dear students, let us begin third stanza today. Those who prepare green wars, war with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivor. No survivor means here nobody is left after war, would put on clean clothes. Here alliteration has been used, and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. This line is meaningful. I want no truck with death. Explanation of the poem is the people who exploit the green wealth of nature by deforestation or mining or fishing in the deep seas, and the soldiers who use weapons to kill fellow human beings need some time to introspect. Introspect means to ask oneself into the consequences. Consequences means results of their actions. They are merely means only doing their job or following orders. He wants them to put on new clothes, that is, to adopt a new approach towards life, and to realize that killing so many people is not a victory. He wants all of us to be united as one, consider our enemy to be our brother. He is promoting brotherhood, peace, and unity. He does not want us to stop our works, but to take some time and analyze the results of our deeds. Further, the details of the above explanation. The poet asks everyone to stop those activities which are damaging. Damaging means here destroying the environment. Today, all the human beings are making money by damaging the environment with their activities such as mining, deforestation, letting the chemical waste into rivers, etc. So, these are the harmful activities. The poet asks us not to do so. He also requests people not to involve in wars, as there is no benefit of achieving such victory in which no one is left alive. He says so because wars and environmental damage will lead to no life on Earth. Rather, he wants people to adopt a new approach towards life and mankind. He says that you should treat your enemy like brothers and promote peace and harmony in the world. So, students, you can say that this poem is absolutely appropriate for the present time as it is going on. Some literary devices have been used by the poet. First of all, alliteration, words with WW. So this W sound is repeated. Clean clothes, here C sound is repeated. So that's why alliteration. Next is assonance. Use of vowel sound O in this line. Victory with no survivors would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers. So there is assonance. Next is repetition. The word use of war has been repeated. So that's why there is a repetition. Dear students, let us begin fourth stanza. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness. Single-minded means selfish, of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. The explanation of the above lines is all human beings work endlessly with the aim of completing all their tasks. They are driven by the target of survival and the threat. Threat means here fear of death, because nobody is immortal in this world, everybody is mortal. So they are in a mad rush to accomplish means here to obtain all their works. He says that perhaps if they pause for a while, pause means here to stop or stay for a while, they can appreciate means admire their achievements, and their lives would become happier. Further, he suggests that by keeping quiet, we will be able to understand the true purpose of our life. This is the main purpose of this poem. Let us have detailed explanation. Now the poet wants to clarify to his readers that when he asks them to stop from saying or doing anything, he doesn't want anyone to become a non-active person. Non-active is a person who remains idle. Idle means here lazy and doesn't do anything. Here he simply means that we should stop and see the consequences. Consequences means results of our deeds. Deeds means work. The poet doesn't want to see people being killed due to their greed for money and expansion of territories. Territories here, provinces. Further, he says that people are continuously working to achieve their tasks without even thinking about their results. They are in fear of death and therefore want to achieve most of the things before their death. Here he urges means here appeals them to stop for a while means for some time, and take some moment to relish means here enjoy on what they have achieved till now. Everyone here is living a life in which he wants to achieve various things one after another. But now the poet says it is the time to stop and see what has been achieved and should be enjoyed. This will help us escape the sadness. Escape means here to avoid the sadness which has become so prominent in our lives. The sadness of not enjoying that we have achieved, what we have achieved, and the greed to achieve what next is in the list to be achieved. It means everybody is running to gain more and more, to earn more and more, and the persons have forgotten to enjoy what they have achieved. The poet has used some literary devices over here. Alliteration, we were so single-minded. Enjambment, and for once good, perhaps a huge silence of threatening ourselves with death. There is enjambment. Enjambment is a figure of speech you will learn further. Dear students, let us have fifth stanza. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12, and you keep quiet and I will go. The explanation of the above lines is the poet suggests us to take a teaching from nature. It means it can be said nature is the best teacher, as nowadays we can learn from nature the silence, keeping quiet. As the earth undergoes changes, in winter everything freezes, becomes lifeless, but after some time the season changes again and everything comes back to life. Similarly, taking a pause and introspecting into our lives will give it a new meaning. We will be able to understand the purpose of our life. It will be like a rebirth of the soul, as nowadays we are feeling. The poet has conveyed to all the people the purpose of his message, and so he asked them once again to take a pause, count till 12, and walks out of the scene, keeping the scene open for all the people on the earth to experience this for times to come. The details of the above explanation is, so now the poet suggests to the human beings that we should learn a lesson from earth. During the winters, everything freezes and becomes lifeless. But when season changes and it's the onset of spring season, everything present in the nature, such as the trees, birds, rivers, etc., gets life, as you have watched in a small video clip which I have just given to you. So here the poet, by giving the example of nature, wants to say that all the human beings should stop and try to judge their deeds. Judge means to observe, deeds means works. They can try and make their life better with calmness, peace. Finally, he ends up by saying that now he will count up to 12 so that we all may become quiet. Here, quiet means to calm down ourselves and move towards the path of peace and harmony. After saying this, he says, I will go. He says, so as he has conveyed his message to the people and wants them to be left alone to think about it and work in the direction of peace.